Oh hey YouTube, what's really good? My name is Vizually, your coach of the South Texas Sableyes, and this is going to be your week 9 battle for the PGBL, aka the league we won season 1 of. We're trying to run it back in season 2. We're currently 6-2. We're not doing bad. We're doing pretty good. We're facing against Vizually, coach of the Cincy Scizors this week, and their team is monstrous. Let me just read you the Pokemon they have access to. You can obviously see the team by now, or maybe not. I don't know if I'm still big or if I'm small in the corner yet, but yeah, we'll figure it out in editing. The team they have access to is Megalopony, Zapdos, Talonflame, Haxorus that can use Z-Crystals, Primarina, Decidueye, Steelix, Weezing, Hoopa Unbound that can use Z-Crystals, and Cryogonal. This week, they bring Megalopony, Hoopa Unbound, Haxorus, Primarina, Zapdos, and Mega Steelix. How on earth do you have switch-ins for Megalopony, Hoopa Unbound, and Haxorus? I don't know. I just decided to bring a lot of bulk this week. I normally try to, like, you know, have some intro nonsense that you can maybe laugh at, but this week, look at this. Look at this team. That being said, I'm gonna bring the Mega Heracross, the Hydreigon, the Tangrowth, the Jirachi, the Sylveon, and the Toxapex. Now, this is a more standard team. If you watch the battle with Sneaky, that team was really weird in comparison to what I'm bringing this week. This is like standard composition of the team I drafted. Realistically, like if we're looking at this team versus what I drafted, this is probably what would be the most standard composition of it. With that being said, let's just get into this battle and react to it together. We're post-commentary battlers now on YouTube. We don't do live Wi-Fi battles anymore because we like the way the pretty Citra graphics look. And, you know, I'm becoming your favorite post-commentary Pokemon battler on YouTube. You've told me in the comment section down below. If you haven't, you should. Just go down there and type like, oh, hi, Vivid, you're my favorite post-commentary Pokemon YouTube battler. I'll respond, probably, within 2 days. Wink. Also, I just want to go ahead and point out that Vizually also posts a lot of content on his channel. You should definitely go check him out. He's been streaming a lot lately as well, but he does a lot of sort of like post-commentary Wi-Fi battles from different formats, and he's in this league. So I don't know if he does his league battles live or not. We're going to find out when we watch the upload, but definitely go check him out if you haven't already. Go subscribe. Dude puts out a lot of content, and it's all high quality. So that being said, let's get into this battle. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this character model matches exactly what Viz looks like in real life. I think. Who knows? We're in space, by the way. I think this might be my favorite background so far. All right, so we picked the really strange lead of Mega Heracross. I think it works out in this instance because Megalopony hits like a truck, but it doesn't hit as hard as Mega Heracross, and we also have bulk, and Megalopony just doesn't. It's fast and hits hard. So I stay in knowing that even if this thing has Fire Punch, it's not going to do as much as its return does, and we can just kill this thing on turn 1. I also kind of predicted him to go for a Fake Out here, so I could have switched predicting that, but just on the off chance that he stayed in and went for like Fire Punch or something, I had to stay in. He goes for the Fake Out. We flinch. It's okay. It's not the worst, you know. We can take that damage. It's not bad. I predict him to switch out here, and this is probably one of the biggest reads I've ever made. So knowing that he had to predict me going for close combat, I go for Rock Blast, knowing that Zapdos is the only thing on his team that really wants to take a close combat. Also, Rock Blast would have hit the Primarina hard too. So we get to kill the Zapdos on turn 2. Did you see that? Because that's bananas. I wanted to play it off like kind of cool at first, but when this happened, I felt like a god. I felt so incredibly like confident going forward in this battle because we took out one of what I would think would be the harder threats to kill on his team on turn 2. This turn, he switches back out into his Lopunny. I can predict him to go for a Fake Out, so I just go out into my Scarfrotchy. This is a Scarfrotchy. I wanted to outspeed this thing and be able to actually just like bop it with Zen Headbutt. I have to predict him to switch here. I can't just lock myself with a Zen Headbutt, so we go for the U-turn. And then Steelix is... I gained a new respect for Steelix in this battle just because it is so fat. It's so fat. Look at this. Let me preface this for you. The Steelix has leftover, so it goes up to full. It has sturdy, so we're not gonna knock it out one hit no matter what. But even just at base right here, where Steelix is at full health and Heracross is max attack adamant, a close combat is not a guaranteed OHKO, and it's super effective, and that blows my mind. Either way, we go for the close combat here. He switches into his Starbucks, which is a great name for a Primarina, by the way. The only other one that I think is better than this is when I battled Pokemon, his Primarina's name was LaCroix, which I think is great. So either way, he switches into this. I can't risk him being faster, right? Because I know I'm faster than a Primarina, but if he's Choice Scarfed, he outspeeds me. I didn't see the leftovers at the end of the turn because I'm dumb and was not paying attention clearly. Because had I not, had I just looked, I could have just gone for Bullet Seed, and Bullet Seed wouldn't have killed the Megalopony, but it would have chunked it. So I switch out fearing a Scarf, not paying attention to the leftovers because I'm really bad at gathering intel and information. I go on to Toxapex knowing that Primarina can't touch Toxapex. He goes out into Haxorus, and then this is where sort of like the battle gets like, okay, so this Haxorus can sweep my entire team if it's the right set. I get the Scald off, like trying to Scald the Megalopony because I know he can take any hit. We get the Scald burn, and we don't see a Lumberry. So I'm like, okay, geez, that's pretty good. I can't do any damage to this thing, so I'm going to switch out. And it might have made sense in retrospect to have stayed in. And you'll see why. This thing goes for Sword Stance. Now, my Toxapex, aka the beautiful Toxicology, always carries Haze because otherwise it's just setup fodder. It's the most sort of like passive Pokemon, so you have to carry Haze on it. I go out into my Creeper knowing I have Hidden Power Ice, and it's gonna chunk this thing for like 50%. This thing is at +4. I'm running Calx right now to make sure that a +4 Poison Jab doesn't kill me, and it doesn't. We get off Hidden Power Ice. It eats the, what berry is this? Yachi. All right. This happened in my last battle with Sneaky, and I didn't know what berry to say. So from this range, it looks like another Hidden Power Ice plus a burn will take this thing out. And we know we live a +4 Poison Jab unless he gets a crit. Even if I get poisoned, it doesn't matter. I can just switch out and Regenerator back up. The Tangrowth Toxapex core is honestly nasty. It's really nasty. The burn takes this thing out, which in this league counts as a kill for Toxapex. So I guess we're just trying to get Toxapex's kill count up there. All right, so we stay in with the Tangrowth. He switches back into a Steelix. I don't know if he's going to set up rocks here. I don't know if he's going to heavy slam here. I just want to knock off the leftovers so he can't ever get back up to sturdy. We see he sets up the Stealth Rocks. I look at my team and I'm like, I just don't think this matters. I just really don't think this matters. Like, I don't even know necessarily that I brought removal this week. I might have. There have been a few weeks where not bringing removal has utterly just thrashed me. But if they don't have access to Toxic Spikes or Spikes, sometimes if I'm bringing a team that is just like, all right, man, I'm bringing this team with, you know, just infinity things that resist rocks, I just don't care. So we stay in, go for the Giga Drain, get some health back. Giga Drain does a lot more than I thought it would, which tells me that he doesn't have much special bulk because I was running Calx with something that had something like 150 to 200, I think, special defense IVs. He switches out into this thing. We go for another Giga Drain. We got Toxic somewhere in this transaction. It was from the Steelix. I know where it happens. You think I don't keep up with these? I know exactly what's going to happen next. I'm going to let the Tangrowth go down because I really don't think I need it. And I couldn't switch into Jirachi here, just hoping that he didn't go for a dark type move. Because realistically, I think a Hyperspace Fury would have taken me out here. Is that the name of the attack? I don't know. He goes for Gunk Shot. Doesn't matter, like in the slightest. We're going to die to it without the crit. So I just don't think Tangrowth does enough at this point. So I switch out to my Hydreigon. This Hydreigon packed U-turn, and I know for a fact that once, like, I have enough attack investment in this thing, and I think it even has negative attack nature, but I have enough attack investment that U-turn Oko's the, what was that thing? The Hoopa Unbound. It just Okos it, which is bananas. Hoopa Unbound's defense is pathetic, which I was really grateful for in prep, because if it didn't have pathetic defense, I wouldn't have been able to, like, just bring U-turn on a Hydreigon that outspeeds it naturally. Like, if this thing's Scarfed, it'll find an outspeed, but it also has a hard time finding an Oko. I think Drain Punch does the trick, but we're super far away from that. He goes into Steelix. On my Mega Heracross switch in, we go for close combat, obviously trying to take this thing out. We know he's probably going to switch back into the Primarina, and this is the turn that I finally see. All right, it's leftovers, and I realized I had to have seen that on the turn that this thing first came out, because it took an attack. I just wasn't paying attention. We packed Bullet Seed specifically for this thing, mind you. Whatever. Yeah, sometimes you miss information. I could have chunked the Lopunny is really what mattered there. So Mega Heracross takes out the Primarina with Bullet Seed. It was also doing a ton of damage with close combat, which I'm just like, man, Mega Heracross is a monster. We see this thing come back in. I go right out into Sylveon, wanting to just sort of scale how much damage I'm going to take. I could have ran a calc here to find out. I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to switch. I knew I'd live one hit most likely. And then I look at this damage and I'm like, all right, this thing's really out here doing a lot of damage. At this point, I'm looking up Megalopony to see if it has coverage moves that hit Sylveon for super effective damage. I don't believe it does, but Return does so much damage that I'm just like, all right. I can't stay in anymore because my Sylveon will die. I protect the turn to get some more leftovers recovery. This really was probably not a good switch. It wasn't. I just wanted to scale damage because I knew this thing could also OHKO the Megalop. We go out into the Scarfrachi here, hoping he doesn't predict that and go for high jump kick. He doesn't, he goes for the return. We know this is gonna force out the Megalopony once again. So let's watch together. It doesn't force out the Megalopony. We go for U-turn, which does absolutely nothing because for some reason fighting resist bug, which I don't think I necessarily understand. But at this point, I'm just like, okay, I don't have Tangrowth anymore, but I also know that Megalopony cannot do anything to Toxicology. Like, I think this thing gets Thunder Punch and it just doesn't matter. Excuse me. It just doesn't matter that this thing gets Thunder Punch. I think Return even does more than Thunder Punch. We just live all the hits. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I need to Toxic this thing to wear it down, but I also need to make sure I stay at a healthy amount of health. And how many times can you say the word health in a sentence? A healthy amount of health. We use Recover. We regain some sweet HP. We get that Black Sludge recovery. At this point, I'm like, okay, so he can either switch or he's just going to take this Toxic, and he decides to stay in and just take this Toxic. At this point, really the only thing that kind of gets me here is a critical hit return, and it only gets me if I'm like at half health already. If I'm at full health, it does an OHKO, and then I can just switch out. So we're at a point where now every other turn I can alternate between clicking Toxic and Scald and just take this thing out. And I acknowledge, like, I know that people don't like this, but I mean, I drafted Toxapex. I think I picked it 3rd or 4th pick, maybe 5th, something like that. I picked it pretty high. Like, if I'm gonna pick it, I'm gonna use it to be a wall, and sometimes it's gonna Toxic stall things out. It's just how the game works. No, but really, I acknowledge this isn't super fun, but I mean, I tried to at least attack every other turn. I can take a turn off, go for a Scald, go for a cover, go for a Scald, go for a cover. You know what I mean? So I stay healthy and this thing just gets whittled down. I'm honestly kind of surprised that he didn't switch at some point trying to preserve this thing, but at this point, at the damage it's at now, it doesn't really matter, right? Like, it's gonna die, so why switch it out? I think in the beginning, maybe, when also, I think I'm getting like a sub notification right now, which is really strange. Shout outs to the person that just subscribed. I don't know why on OBS I still get like the sub notifications when I'm not on my streaming page. You don't care about that. Right now, we're going to switch, predicting him to go for the return because we know Jirachi can take it. There's no need for Toxicology to take extra damage. This also gives me a good out to whatever he switches in next. I can just U-turn out. If it's the, what does he have left? So this thing goes down. He has, I think, the Hoopa left, which I can just U-turn on. We outspeed it 100%, even if it's Choice Scarf, because we are also Choice Scarf. This had to be the switch. And at this point, I'm like, okay, how do I break through Steelix? We U-turn out, obviously, and I'm like, I think a Z Dark Pulse from Hydreigon 100% OHKOs this thing, because earlier I acknowledged that it didn't have as much special bulk as I thought it would. So we got into Hydreigon. We know we live a Heavy Slam, which is what I'm kind of predicting him to go for here. He does go for the Heavy Slam, and I'm like, okay, if the Hoopa is Scarfed, which I don't think it is, then we're fine. Or no. If the Hoopa's not Scarfed, which I don't think it is, we're fine. Because we just go for the Z Dark Pulse here. It's gonna annihilate the Steelix. But I still have like, I have a bigger respect for Steelix than I did before this battle. Like, I wouldn't mind drafting it. It's a super reliable rock setter. It's a very bulky, like, physical wall. It doesn't have recovery, which I guess is garbage. But I mean, you could probably, there's probably like a Rest Hawk set somewhere that's not bad. Rest Hawk, Roar, I don't know. Heavy Slam, something, I don't know. The more of the stories, I have more respect for Steelix than I did when this battle started. He goes out in a Hoopa. I know that I outspeed this thing unless it's Scarfed. Even if it is Scarfed, I have answers to it in Jirachi, because Jirachi will outspeed it if it's Scarfed. We go for the U-turn, we get the kill. And fun fact, the kill breakdown for this game, Hydreigon Ghidorah got 2 kills, Mega Heracross got 2 kills, and Toxapex got 2 kills, which I just think is kind of funny because the Toxapex got 2 kills. That was a great game, Viz. All right, so that game ended in a 5-0. I was really proud of this game. The second turn prediction to Oko the Zapdos with Mega Heracross I thought was bananas. I was a giant fan of that, but it was still a good game. And if you are not subscribed to Vizually, definitely go do that. I will leave links in the description down below to his battle. I don't know if he's already uploaded or not. I think he has. Unclear. If the battle's there, I'll link to the battle. If not, I'll just link to his channel. But you should go check him out. Like I said, dude posts a lot of content and he also streams on YouTube. Like right now, you have a notification and it's Wi-Fi battle me with his friend code. So you can also Wi-Fi battle him live. There you go. That's always fun. Next week in the PGBL, we play 6 Foot Hacks, aka Leo. That will be up next Saturday. His team is monstrous. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm honestly scared. He's also a beast. I have this like side bet going with Randy, whether or not I'm gonna win or lose. I'm just hoping I win. It would mean a lot. Leo, if you're listening to this right now, it's nothing personal. I just want to win. All right, so go ahead and leave a like on this video if you're incredibly excited that we are currently 7-2 in this league, making another deep run, probably almost, I don't know if I would say we're locked for playoffs, but we've definitely got to be close. It would also just let me know that you like the video, and that makes me feel good inside. If you're new here, you should subscribe because we do a lot of Pokemon battles, and I'm your new favorite post commentary Pokemon battler on YouTube. You told me so in the comment section down below just now. Also, you can comment other things. If you want to talk to me, just, you know, let me know if you thought the Zapdos play, Rock Blast that killed the Zapdos, was as good as I did, because I thought it was bananas. Whew, all right, I think I'm done here. I try to like keep these outros like fresh, you know, and funny and off the cuff. I don't think I do a very good job of that though, but I'm kind of done here and I gotta leave. Bye. So tell me something.